Greetings, YouTube. If you want to keep someone in line, an excellent tool is fear. It isn't a healthy tool. It isn't a constructive tool. It isn't a tool that's going to induce a positive, healthy, independent worldview. But it is a useful tool for a time. Because eventually, the person you're trying to induce fear in will stop being afraid. And then you've created someone that isn't afraid anymore. Someone that has a certain amount of disrespect and animosity towards the individual that attempted or successfully achieved that state of fear. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, I'm going to link to an article I just saw, and I mean just saw about 10 minutes ago, dealing with a 6-year-old that was detained by the police and not handed over to their parent immediately because the child walked to a local store. Now, this is all about the fear that any child in the public sphere, any child, will be abducted. And that just isn't true. I know that a lot of media outlets will give you inflated numbers about the number of children that are considered at risk or have disappeared every year. One of the ones that I've seen in the United States frequently used is 1 million! There are not 1 million children that are disappearing from the streets of America. The vast majority of those, and I mean vast majority of those, are runaways or throwaways. Children that are just kicked out by their family because they don't want them. Some of them are abducted by family members in, cases involving divorce or just crappy parents whose relatives take their kids to keep the kids safe. But technically it is kidnapping. In reality, in the United States, approximately 200 children every year are kidnapped. That's a horrible number. Really, it is. And 100 of those kids don't ever come home. And that's even more horrible. But that's out of a population of 311 million people. So that's an infinitesimally small amount. The risk to your child is incredibly small. In fact, your child is at more risk if you drive them to the store because 3,000 children a year are killed in car accidents. It's all about fear. How dare you do something that the current social atmosphere says you shouldn't do? How dare you? It doesn't matter that it isn't illegal. That it's okay for a 6-year-old to walk to the store or cross the street on their own. That's not illegal. Well, not illegal yet. But how dare you do something that society and the media says is wrong? Even though it isn't wrong, even though it isn't risky, even though we have to teach our children how to function and behave every day. When I was 5, I used to walk to school every day. It was about 1.5 miles, I think, every day, there and back, to kindergarten. Guess what? I'm alive. And then wasn't any different than now, folks. It's just that our media outlets have decided to ramp up the outrage about every single incident where a child is legitimately put at risk. And it gives people the impression that children are at risk every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day of their entire lives. Except they aren't. If it bleeds, it leads. It's all about getting their commercials seen by your eyes. And they do that by saying anything they can to get your attention. So when someone has an overreach like this, and here's a perfect example of overreach, folks. For all the conservatives out there, the ones that tell me that they want small government, well, here you go. Here's an example of small government that it doesn't exist. A cop telling a parent they can't let their child cross the street. A cop telling their parent they can't allow their child to walk a couple of blocks down the road to go to the store by themselves. To build a sense of confidence and independence, which apparently the police don't want you to have. Because confident and independent citizens are definitely not what the government wants.